Let's talk about what to do when you get off track with your money. It is unrealistic to think that every single budget you write or every single time you make a plan for your money, that it's going to go perfect. And it's really easy to fall into the belief that as soon as you make a mistake, that's it. Throw the budget or the plan in the garbage can and let's just do whatever we want. Instead of doing that, follow these steps. This is my secret weapon to help me and everyone that I work with stay on track with their budget and their spending so that you can reach your money goals faster. Hi, my name is Allison Baggerly, founder of Inspired Budget and author of Money Made Easy. Let's talk about the crazy cycle that you're likely on with your money. Here's what it looks like. First, you write a budget. You create a plan that feels good to you. Then something happens. You overspend. Maybe you forgot that you needed to get an oil change and that's going to be another $80 right there. Then you start feeling guilty. Why didn't you expect this? You knew that you were going to need your oil changed, but you forgot. I must be a terrible budgeter. I'm so bad with my money. Or you start thinking, there's nothing I can ever do right. I'm never doing good with my budget. This must not be working. So why even bother? And then what happens is inevitably some amount of time passes. Maybe it's a month, maybe it's a year. And then you sit down and you say, hey, I'm not happy with the way my finances are looking. Why don't I sit down and write a budget? And the crazy cycle starts all over again. That's why I call it the crazy cycle. This is the cycle that I lived for way too long. Yeah, I did this. This is the exact crazy cycle that I found myself in. And my reaction made no sense at all. Every single time I would overspend or go over budget, I would then feel the deep desire, the need to spend more money. Make it make sense. I would overspend and then all of a sudden say, screw it, and start spending money left and right. I started to wonder, what is wrong with me? Like, what does this mean about my mind that as soon as things fell apart with my money plan, as soon as things fell apart with my budget, my reaction was to say, screw it, I would spend all the money. And I almost saw it as like a binge spending. I would binge spend money and I would say, well, we're going to start over in a week and a half. So I'm just going to spend. And I realized finally, after taking a lot of time to sit down and really think through my crazy actions, why I was doing that. And it all came down to control. You see, what happened was I would write a budget so that way I would feel in control of my money. Then something would happen which felt out of my control. And so to take back control of my money, I would spend. I was back in control. I was back in the driver's seat. I was driving it into a world full of debt, but I was back in the driver's seat. So I wonder if that's something that you struggle with too. I know I can't be alone here. And if this is something you've never dealt with, then just be thankful, okay? But we're still gonna talk about how to get back on track with your money. Ultimately, if you find yourself on this crazy cycle, we have to break it. We have to disrupt that pattern so you don't find yourself in the same cycle year in and year out. So how do we do that? You need a budget reset. Even if today is not payday, even if it's not the beginning of the month, we need to give you a reset button, a reset budget to help you get back on track with your money. And this is exactly what I do. It is my secret weapon that ultimately helped me stop that overspending cycle. The truth is that budgets don't have to be perfect and they don't have to start on your payday. You can write a budget that starts today based off the money you have in your account. And that's exactly the thing that helped me take back control whenever I felt like I had lost all control of my money. Okay, so what is it? It is the mini budget. I call it the mini budget because it's not a full-blown intense budget. Instead, it is a smaller little mini version of a budget that will last you from today until the day before you are paid again. Writing a mini budget gives you back that control in a very successful, positive, happy way with your money. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we actually put this into practice? Well, I broke this down into easy steps. Step one is to actually check your bank balance. We need to know exactly how much money you're starting with so that way we have a starting point. This is as simple as opening up your bank account and looking and seeing how much money do you have. Make sure you subtract any pending charges. We want to look at the amount you have available today right here at this moment. In my example, we have $506 $22.75 in my checking account. We know exactly how much money we have. And I will admit, this is sometimes a hard step. If you have financial anxiety, actually opening up your account and looking at it can be hard. I totally understand that, but we got to know our starting point. So let's push through it together. Open it up, write that number down. It can even just be written down on a sticky note. The next step is to count the days until your payday. I believe in budgeting per paycheck. What that means is that the day I am paid, I will write a budget from that day on. Typically, that's not on the first of the month. So you will not see me budgeting from June 1st, 30 days past September, April, June, to June 30th. You will see me budgeting from the day I am paid until the day before I am paid again, because on my next paycheck, that starts my new budget. That starts my next budget. Now, if you've gotten off track with your budget, we want to figure out how many days do you have until you're paid again. So let's pretend that today is a Saturday and I'm paid again next Friday. I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 days until I am paid again, because on Friday is payday, then I will start a new budget. So we need to know our timeline here. Now we know how much money we have and we know our timeline. Our third step is to list out any upcoming expenses you have. This looks like any bills that are going to be automatically drafted out of your account. What I like to do is I actually like to look at my calendar and I say, okay, I think through every single day that I have coming up. On Saturday, I know I'm going to go to the grocery store, so I need to make sure I include money for groceries. I think about the gas in my car. Do I have enough gas to last me until Friday? Will I need to fill up again? Do I have any subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, or even a cell phone bill coming out? Are we going to be going out to eat? I'll look at my calendar and I'll list out any expenses I have. What that's doing is it's allowing you to say, maybe things didn't go as planned before and my budget got off track, but I'm going to start over right now in this moment. So while all of my expenses won't be on this mini budget, I'm going to think through the specific ones I have for the next 6 days. In this example, where I have $506.75 left, I have listed out groceries for $200. That's typically what I budget for our family of 4. I know that as my 2 boys keep growing, it'll probably increase because I do have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old. And let me tell you, they eat a lot. So it would include groceries. Maybe my husband doesn't need to get gas, but I do. So I would include $50 to fill up my gas tank on my car. I'll pretend that Netflix is coming out, which is $20 a month. Maybe we do want to go pick up something to eat one day because we just don't want to cook on a Sunday night. I'll throw in something like restaurants for $70. I always think it's important to look at any bills that you're going to have automatically drafted out of your account. And so let's pretend that during this 6-day period, my water bill is going to be paid for $110. And then when I'm looking at my calendar, I see there's not really anything else, but I always like to add in a buffer. It's kind of just a catch-all. It gives me breathing room in my budget, so that way, if I do go over budget on my groceries by $20, that's okay. My buffer can kind of absorb that extra spending. The key with writing a mini budget is to plan out every single dollar that you have left. Make a plan for it. Now, here's the deal. You might write a mini budget and you are negative, meaning that until payday, you're going to be spending more money than you have in your checking account. If that happens, you have a couple of options. You can cut back on your expenses. We're not going to go out to eat. We're not going to be spending money on those things. Or you could move money over from savings where you say, okay, I understand. Things did not go as planned. Let me transfer over $100 from savings to help cover me. Or you can get creative and do things like sell something around your house to help get that extra cash. The ultimate goal is to make a plan for every dollar, because when you do that, it allows you to be intentional about where your money's going. It allows you to be proactive instead of reactive. I found that when I don't know where my money is going, I'm reactive with my money, meaning it feels like things just happen to me and I have to use money to put out little fires here and there. Oh my gosh, there's a birthday I forgot about. Throw $30 there. And then I forgot about my car registration. Throw $75 there. And it feels like things are happening to me instead of me sitting down and forward thinking about where my money is going to need to go. When I tell you that the difference that has on just my overall mental health and my financial health, it is incredible. The difference between being proactive with your money and reactive. This is a really easy way to take back that control and be proactive with your money. Finally, once you have written your mini budget, I highly recommend that you do not put it in a folder and place it in your drawer or keep it on your computer and close the tab. No, we want to keep this thing visible. Print it out, put it up somewhere where you are going to see it. One great option is your refrigerator because then everyone in the family can see it. If that feels a little too out in the open for you, then I highly recommend somewhere like your bathroom mirror where maybe only you and your partner tend to go, or even your personal closet. I used to hang different things up in our closet like our debt-free thermometer and personal things that I wanted to look at, but I didn't want guests, friends, and family seeing. So hanging it on the door inside of your closet is a really great place. We want this to be visible so that way it reminds you where your money is going and you can stay on track for the next however many days. I promise you, mini budgets work. They don't just work for me, they worked for hundreds and thousands of my students. Here's a post and she says, I have not been perfect since joining this group, and that's my membership. But she said, when I get off track, I hear Allison's voice in my head, just write a mini budget and get on track. And that's the thing about budgeting and working on our money. You're not going to get it perfect. It's not going to be easy all the time. And it's understandable that things are going to come up. Life is going to happen. There will be times when you mess up, but that's okay. And that's to be expected. Writing a mini budget is just one way that gives you back that control. It allows you to stand back up after you feel like you've been knocked down and say, okay, I'm going to keep moving forward with my money. Mini budgets also teach you flexibility. Your budget is a flexible, living, breathing document. It's going to change because no month you have or no budget you write is going to be exactly the same as the one before it. So it gives you that practice, if you will, of going in and working on a flexible budget. I like to see it as meal planning for my money. I personally write a meal plan every single weekend. I'll write one for that Sunday moving forward. It allows our family to be really intentional about what we're making. It gives the kids a clear view of what we're having for dinner, and we still include going out to eat in our meal plan. So writing a budget is just like that. It's looking forward and saying, where do I want to spend my money? Just like we look forward and say, what do I want to make for dinner this week? Something that I wish I could have told myself like many years ago is that when things don't go as planned with your money, you don't need a new month to start over. You just need a new plan. And a mini budget is a perfect way to hit reset with your money and take just one step closer to reaching your money goals. I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried a mini budget? And if not, will you be willing to try one? Comment down below and let me know. If you want more money tips to help you manage your money better, then be sure to check out my 7-day money makeover challenge. It is super awesome. I'll send you a free one-page budget template, and you'll get an email every day for 7 days with bite-sized information on how to save more money, find more money in your budget, and take back control of your finances. You can sign up by going to inspirebudget.com/makeover or just click the link below.